Welcome back. Johannesburg could be getting its own waterfront and beach development, all worth 9 billion rand. If you live in Johannesburg and desire to access to a beach, your dreams could come true. Last week, Baldwin Properties tweeted plans for its new Midrand development called Munyaka. The new waterfront will have a lagoon and lifestyle centre. This development could see more tourists heading to Gauteng. Joining me now is TUT's tourism lecturer, Unathi Henama. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Gauteng has a very different tourism profile from waterfront or coastal destinations. Who traditionally comes to Gauteng and what do they come to see or experience?
Remember, the majority of tourists that come to South Africa, they connect in Johannesburg. And obviously, Johannesburg becomes this good aviation hub for people, obviously, to do Kruger National Park, for them also to consume the city of Joburg, Pretoria, and Dinukeng, all of those areas, which also offer the Big Five experience. But Johannesburg, Pretoria are not traditional leisure tourism destinations because obviously they've also moved towards business tourism with conventions, all of that.
We do have lots of historical tourism, though. People coming to see historical sites, political sites of importance, that kind of thing.
Yes. I mean, we do have a lot of that within the Gauteng province, but obviously the message has always been clear from Gauteng. Keep them off the beaches. And this development from the private sector obviously does assist Visit Gauteng from a perspective of trying to keep the majority of our residents within the province. We need that money also too as Gauteng.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a residential estate, not so much a leisure or tourism destination. And we're not sure what kind of leisure facilities will be available to non-residents. Is this development likely to change the tourism profile of Gauteng and Joburg specifically?
I think it also indicates an outward growth from the CBD towards your much more wealthier areas because it is located within the waterfall area. I think also it might also be another experience because the Mall of Africa has always been regarded as a shopping tourism destination, especially for your well-off tourists. So this one will obviously increase how much money is spent. The most important thing is that we don't want people to come to Gauteng, spend a day and then go to Cape Town. I mean, from a Visit Gauteng perspective, we want them to spend a bit more money. So this again is an addition of an additional attraction for Gauteng tourism, which is exceptional.
When we talk about tourism, we often focus on international tourism because that's one of the drivers for South Africa. We know we do offer a lot of attractions that you can't see anywhere else in the world. So we're quite reliant on international tourism. But we've also been upscaling the importance of local tourism, bringing people from other provinces to Gauteng for different reasons. What can we now offer out-of-towners but South Africans?
I think besides this attraction, which will be great, I believe the heritage products in South Africa, especially historical ones, we need to just use 4IR, ensure that they have the best technology so that if I go to a museum, I can press a button, then maybe can speak in French to me if I'm French speaking, or we've got audiovisual. It must obviously integrate technology much more so that the experience is much more. I mean, when was the last time some of us even went to a museum, all of that? And I think several museums in South Africa are exceptional ones, such as the Apartheid Museum, great experience. But the most important thing to ensure that when people are at destinations, we give them an exceptional wow experience so they can speak good about it. Remember, it's a people's industry. And if I make a tourist to feel exceptionally well at a destination or at a tourism product, they will tweet, they'll speak good about it. That's the most important thing.
Increase in living costs mean that a lot of South Africans no longer have available cash for tourism, for leisure activities. How has that impacted local tourism over the last few months, the last quarter? I mean,
if you look at Stats SA, the domestic tourism results when they're taken out, they've indicated that domestic tourism is an indication of the economic climate in a country. There has been a sensible decline in domestic tourism, but that has been mitigated by regional tourism and also international tourism. Obviously, with the visa regulations removed for children coming to the country, that will obviously ensure that we attract more people into our country. As we obviously attract more airlines to fly to destinations in South Africa, we can have more tourists. And obviously, with safety and security issues being addressed by the government, these are certainly good times to attract tourists to our country.
Great. So this new development boding well for Gauteng tourism in the future, you would say?
It bodes well for urban tourism in this urban jungle, which obviously Gauteng is very clear. keep them off the beaches.
And hopefully those of us living in Gauteng can enjoy it as well, not just the people coming from Cape Town to avoid the wind.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We've been speaking to TUT's tourism lecturer Unathi Hanama about the proposed development in Midrand of a beachfront and waterfront residential resort.